if it's a standard old school entertainment center. Something I've been thinking about for a while. It's been something, sitting back, relaxing, and watching TV. Why not? Since this is an old TV cases and not being used for a TV anymore, why not make this an enclosure? So I've been kicking around this idea for a long time, and we've been seeing way too much rain here in Southern California, stuck inside. And so I'm going to take the opportunity to go ahead and convert this. I'm not sure what we're going to put in it yet. I'm considering Abronia, but haven't really made a full decision on that. But I figure I might as well get started and see what I can do with this thing and make some kind of enclosure out of it. So I'm gonna have to fully line it. It's like a oak, I believe, and you can tell how quickly it gets rings. If you set a wet cup on there, it's gonna be very sensitive to moisture. So I'm gonna line the whole inside with the tarp, like I tend to do. It's a cheap, you get those things for less than $5, and a cheap way to protect your, the environment. Anything it'll be bioactive, I'm sure. So anything I have dirt in there with bugs, I like to kind of put a layer down. Just why not? So, anyways, we'll see how this turns out. I'm gonna pull those doors off, line it with the tarp, probably line it with cocoa fiber along the sides, put a screen on the back, and then I'm thinking just cut out, it's a little wanky because I've already pulled some screws, but just maybe leave an inch or so around the door, cut out the middle, and add a screen to it. That's kind of my thought process so far, but we'll see as things go. If we end up having to make some new doors, I'm going to try not to, so it all matches. I'm going to try and keep it all nice looking, but we may have to make new doors. We'll see how this goes. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull those doors off, and then line it with tarp, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we stripped out all the hardware and set that aside, and we got the tarp. We cut it to the width and just all in one piece. Started in that corner, just ran it down, just a few staples, used short staples and not very many, just more along the front, and that's it. Just a couple to hold the corners down. Run it around, real easy, overlapped a little piece at the top, so we're completely covering the wood. Now I'm gonna essentially do the same thing with coconut husk, cocoa fiber, whatever, sheet, and it overlaps into the back, and then we'll move this thing out once we get the coconut fiber in there, and put the screen on the back. That'll be easy. It'll just staple it real good all the way around the back, and the back will just be screened. So pretty simple. I want to put some strips of probably some plexiglass or something. I gotta go dig around the garage, see what I have. I could use wood, but I'd rather not. I think since I want to put a shallow bioactive layer in here, so I'm gonna have to put something across the front and back to retain the dirt and whatnot. So I'll have to figure that out. Actually, I'd probably do that before I put the coconut lining in. But so making a little progress. Do something on this rainy day. It's just been raining for a couple days now, and ponds over flooding. Everything's green, but just can't really get much done outside. Quail don't seem to mind. Okay, we've made some progress on our entertainment center enclosure. All I did basically is, since last time I had to pull all the drawers out, get it away from the wall, and I just stapled the screen just flat onto the back. It's the same screen I use for the chameleon cage, to make sure and run my wires out the upper corner first. I just pulled an old fluorescent fixture I had from off of another enclosure from the garage, and then I bought a ceramic light fixture and an extension cord. Cut off the male end, hook it up, and there's our heat system for less than $4. Each one of those items less than $2 at Home Depot. I'm gonna pick up a UVB bulb for the fluorescent fixture, and so far those will be my only expense. Oh, the tarp. The tarp was less than $5 at Harbor Freight. And I found in the garage, I found an old 16 by 20, an acrylic picture. It's a picture of glass, but it was acrylic. And so I cut it into 3 strips, since it wasn't long enough to go the whole width. It's only 20 inches long, but my width is 30, so I'm just gonna have to patch it in, which is no big deal. I'm just gonna silicone this into place right here on the edge, just to contain the substrate. It's flimsy and small, but we're gonna have a shallow substrate layer anyways, with just a thick sphagnum moss on top of it, so I'm not too worried about it. I just want to I want it to be slightly bioactive. I'm gonna put some bugs in there, and I want it to retain the dirt when I open the doors, and I don't have any bugs crawling out through the screen in the back. So pretty simple, pretty cheap. I think just like that. I'm just gonna have to silicone that on the front and back, and the trickiest part will be figuring out how I'm gonna do the doors and cutting out the middle of the doors and having the screen attached to that. So really, I mean, I'm into this thing for less than $10, and the only thing it's really going to cost me is the decorations. Some plants and cork bark or cork tubes or whatever we decide to put in there. I mean, I have a bunch of wood outside. I'll probably end up using some of that. So, yeah, very cheap. I'm sure we'll be into this thing for less than $100, besides the animals. That's why I always keep everything in the garage. I got just stacks and stacks of random stuff. You never know when an old acrylic picture glass would come in handy. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and silicone those in. That'll be the next step, and then installing the lights. All right, until next time, people. make their own homes, make their own hides. Oh wait, look over here. Here we go. There we go. You have to really take into it. She caught me. She caught me watching. But yeah, it's been a real success. I'm so happy with this one. I have another like old wooden upright display case I have some fishing reels in. I think we're gonna turn that into another enclosure for the crested gecko. We've got one, and I think we're gonna add a few more cresteds to the group. She's on fire back there. He is eating them up. Maybe we have a gravid female. She's sure eating like it. Haven't seen any actual locks, but that male seems to rotate between the tube she likes to hide in and the other little girl's hiding space. So I would not doubt if there is some breeding going on in here. Let's hope. Let's hope. Little alligator lizards would be so cool. That's the idea with this. So far so good. They seem really happy. They're eating well. They're looking nice and thick. Everything you can hope for. But a fun build, an easy build, and a very cheap build. I think I'm into this thing for less than $50, and most of it was plants and the cork tubes. Everything else I either had on hand or gathered from the woods. Alright, until next time, people. Thanks for watching.